A State Basketball Championship. Hello again, everybody. I'm Frank Bassoni, and welcome to this great and historic tournament. This Elite 8 field features the #1 ranked team in the state, and they are undefeated. And it features 8 teams who average more than 25 wins apiece. In our first quarterfinal session today, the Wesclin Warriors will match 27-3 records with the Shelbyville Rams. And then Aurora Christian, 29-2, aims their guns at Cinderella Farmington, 22-6. The crowd is pouring into the Assembly Hall, and they're ready for March Madness next.
The Illinois High School Association proudly presents another championship event. Your network sponsors are your local John Deere dealer. Nothing runs like a Deere. The country companies. When it matters most, the country's behind you. And the dairy farmers of Wisconsin and Illinois. Whether you're on the court or off, milk, it does a body good.
Now for more on our first quarterfinal session, here are my colleagues, Art Kimball and Coach Jim Mungie.
Thank you very much, Frank, and a very pleasant good afternoon, everyone. Art Kimball with you, and I want to introduce you to Jim Mungie, our analyst for the Class A tournament this year for the first time. Jim, the coach at Lawrenceville, good to have you aboard.
Thank you very much, Art.
We're looking forward to a great one, Jim, no question about that. Trenton Wesclin, one of the powerhouses from Southern Illinois, and the South is dominated in Class A. They're against Shelbyville, kind of at a Cinderella ball club in the first game. Aurora Christian against Farmington in the second game. What do you look for briefly, Jim?
Well, I think in this first game, both teams like to push the ball up the floor quite a bit, and Wesclin has some good size. Shelbyville has a nice big center and a good guard that shoots very well from outside, but the size advantage is the Wesclin. But I think it's going to be an up-tempo game, Art. It ought to be very exciting.
Yeah, it's going to be slam bang. We've got a lot of points scored, and of course you've got a dominant player in Paul Lust from Wesclin, and we'll see what transpires. Well, we'll be back. Join us all afternoon long for the Class A State Boys Finals from the Assembly Hall. Let's first pause for these messages. At courtside at the Assembly Hall, Jim Egan with us, the coach of the Shelbyville Rams. First, Jim, congratulations on being here.
Thank you very much, Art.
This has been kind of a Cinderella ride for you, hasn't it?
Well, we're not a very big team, and we only have the one player over 6 foot, but our kids are pretty confident. They really had planned on coming here.
Tell us about that Decatur Super. You had a backyard rival to get by, didn't you?
Right, we had to play the Findlay Falcons, and you know, they're just a fine team with some great players on that team, and it was a tremendous game. We hadn't played them in 34 years, and they're only 10 miles apart, so it was kind of a grudge match there.
What about Trenton Wesclin? What's your thinking on this one this afternoon?
Well, they beat us earlier in the season by just dominating the boards, and they're a real tall, quick, leaping team. We have a bigger center than they do, but everybody else gives up about 4 inches, so we have to keep them off the offensive boards. That'll be the key.
This game may be in the 80s.
I hope we can get there, so that's we think there'll be a lot of points scored today.
A lot of points scored. They really push it. Jim, certainly best wishes to you. Congratulations on being here.
Thank you, Art.
Jim Egan, the basketball coach at Shelbyville, and what a run he's made. Here's Paul Lust, head man at Trenton Wesclin, and Paul, certainly congratulations to you.
Well, thank you.
You had something less than an easy path. You had a great super with Florida, didn't you?
Right. That was a big win. You know, they beat us earlier in the year, and we had to do it, and we did do it.
Your own son, Paul, of course, has had a banner year, a banner high school career. Is it tough coaching your own kid, Paul?
Well, toughest thing in the world. He's a great kid, but it's been tough. You know, he's a great kid, great player, but I'm going to finish it up and say it's one of the toughest things, maybe impossible to do, coach your own son.
What about playing the first game in the quarterfinal round? Is that an advantage, you think?
Oh, I don't see any advantage into it. It's the first game. No matter what time you have to play it, we want to win it so we can stay up and play 2 more.
What do you think about Shelbyville? You played them previously, haven't you?
Yeah, they're an awful good ball club. They're well coached, quick, never say die type of team. We beat them earlier, but it was kind of deceiving because the big kid Nichols fouled out with about 6 minutes to go, and that was kind of the difference.
And the foul column can be pivotal at tournament time, and certainly in the Assembly Hall.
Oh, true, especially when it's your key player like it was the first time against Shelbyville.
So Well, certainly congratulations on a great year. I know your kids have played well all year long, and you beat some good people to get here.
Right, and thank you. We're looking forward to it.
Paul Lusk, the head coach at Trenton Wesclin, and they will take on Shelbyville momentarily. Let's have more on the ball game. And turn you to courtside to Frank Massoni.
Thank you very much, Art. It's Trenton Wesclin Warriors. They're from Trenton, a population of 5,500 in Clinton County. Cahokia Conference, an enrollment of 370. The orange and the black, they'll be wearing the white uniforms today, trimmed in the orange. Shelbyville is of Shelby County, population 5,300. Their enrollment is 421. They're of the Mid-State Conference, the purple and white, and Shelbyville's Rams will be wearing the purple uniforms today, trimmed in gold and white. And they have lost but 3 times all year. They've lost to Breeze Mater Dei twice and to Wesclin 74-59. And Wesclin says they'd like to do it again, but Coach Jim Egan of Shelbyville says this time more zone, I think. They played man-to-man a lot the first time, and we're just moments away from the start of another wonderful tournament. And Coach Jim Mungie, this A field, these 8 teams have the best combined record of any A8 field in history.
I think this should be a really exciting tournament, Frank. All the teams, as you mentioned, besides their winning ways, all have similar characteristics, and I'd look for a lot of close ball games and some points put on the board for most of these games today.
Shelbyville got here by beating Calvary and then taking care of Findlay in the Super 85-67. Wesclin got here by outscoring tough Flora 72-63 in the Super, and they have both been tested already, and this stands out to be a fine basketball matchup, as is this tournament. The bottom bracket features the #1 rated team in the state, and they'll play the first game tonight. That's undefeated Prairie Central. Shelbyville making its first appearance here in 70 years. Wesclin making its first appearance here in 69 years, and I told Coach Lusk, you'll score more points than you did the last time this team was here. He said, how many was that? I said, 13. All right, we're set to go to Steve Adams, the public address announcer at Assembly Hall.
Ladies and gentlemen, after the presentation of the colors, we ask you to stand and join our guest soloist, Aaron Mayhew, a student at Alton Senior High School, and sing our national anthem, as it is played this afternoon by the pep band from Hamilton High School.
Doing the singing, the Hamilton Band, and the national anthem. Now we're set for the teams, and we'll meet our first quarterfinalists today. Now we're set to go back to Steve Adams.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, introducing the coaches and players for this first quarterfinal round game in Class A, featuring the Shelbyville Rams and the Warriors of Trenton Wesclin. First, introducing the Rams of
Shelbyville High School, who entered this game with a record of 27 wins and 3 losses. Here is the head coach in his 3rd season at Shelbyville, Tim Egan. Assistant coach, Stu Hott. And now the players. Number 5, a 5'9" junior, Chad Davis. Number 13, a 5'11" senior, Eric Boyer. Number 15, a 6' senior, Brian Bruin. Number 23, a 5'6" sophomore, Clay Mokel. Number 31, a 5'11" sophomore, Shane Beal. Number 35, a 6'2" sophomore, Craig Rowley. Number 41, a 6' sophomore, Jason Norris. Number 43, a 6'2" sophomore, Kobe Coots. Number 51, a 6'3" sophomore, Blake Summers. And number 55, a 6'3" sophomore, Derek Kimmel. And now, let's meet the starting lineup from Shelbyville High School. At one forward, a 6' senior, number 25, Matt Fernhaber. At the other forward, a 6' senior, 33, Jared Roney. At center, a 6' senior, number 45, Stephen Nichols. At one guard, a 6' senior, number 21, Garrett Brown. And with the other guard, a 6' senior, number 11, Matt Murtaugh. Those are the Rams of Shelbyville High School. And now, introducing the Warriors of Wesclin High School of Trenton, entering the game with a record of 27-3. Here is the head coach in his 15th season, Paul Rutt. Assistant coaches, Pete Lane, Jim Thompson, and Terry Brinkman. And now the players. Number 10, a 5'10" sophomore, Jeff Brokering. Number 12, a 5'10" sophomore, Pat Hempton. Number 22, a 6'3" junior, Chad Tigers. Number 24, a 6'3" sophomore, Cole Mackey. Number 32, a 5'8" junior, Rob Wesclin. Number 34, a 6'1" junior, Don Madenwall. And number 62, a 6'8" sophomore, Doug Kell. And now the starting lineup for Wesclin High School. At one forward, a 6'4" senior, number 40, Brent Brady.
The left-hander averages 20 points a game.
At the other forward, a 6'2" senior, 44, Matt Trenton.
He can shoot the 3.
At center, a 6'2" senior, number 42, Matt Grandmeyer.
Hard playing in the inside.
At one guard, a 5'8" senior, number 30, Mike Green.
He's the point guard, averages 10.
And the other guard is a 6'4" senior, number 50, Paul Rutt.
He will attend Iowa.
Those are the Warriors of the West. And now, the official of the first quarterfinal round game by
back with the first quarterfinal game of the Class A. Now this from one of your network sponsors, Country Companies. We're all set for the quarterfinal game between Wesclin in white, the Warriors 27-3, the Shelbyville Rams 27-3, and the purple trimmed in white. They have played before. Wesclin won 74-59, and Wesclin is led by Paul Lusk, 50. He averages 29 a game, and the Warriors start with the ball. Mike Brink at the top is 30, man-to-man to start for the Rams. Fridley goes to the right wing. They post Lusk now, and he comes out. Brady shoots left-handed, steps in. First three to the tournament. Here's a trap on the full court by Wesclin, and Shelbyville handles it to start. Matt Maytone, number 11, the 6-footer, has shot 83s in. Nichols at 6'6", their other key player, he's 45. He's on the high post right there. They play two-man game, Maytone. Nichols, and Wesclin rebounds. Paul Lusk at 6'4", hurries into the front. A pop. Rebound to the Rams. This could be an up-tempo game.
I think they're going to push it up and down that floor all day long, Frank. Looks like the Wesclin team's using that 2-2-1 press they used in the super sectional.
Get the ball to the middle, and clearing it, Jared Roney, 33. 4 6-foot players, and Nichols for the Rams. Nichols goes 6'6". He plays the post. He's there now. Guarded by Brandmeier. He barges in with the left hand for two. Steve Nichols, 6'6" and 190, got it done.
You're going to see Nichols come up to the high post, ball fake, and then take it strong to the hole. Nice left-handed shot off the glass.
Nichols, 67% foul shooter, tries here. The game is tied. We've just begun. And Fridley takes the Warriors up court. Running one-hander is down. Matt Fridley. He had 21 points and 8 rebounds in the super. Maytone, quite a story here. We'll get into it as the game develops. A screen by Nichols, and he was fouled. Looked like Mike Brink got it.
He's had a good solid screen. He might have had a little theatrics going down, but it was definitely a charging pass.
Already for Wesclin, 22, Chad Deiters checks into the game. Deiters, a 6'3" junior. This is Maytone, 3. Matt Maytone is a great three-point shooter. And he got his first one. They set a lot of picks for him like they do for Lusk on this end. Fridley gets inside, a close one, got it down. Matt Fridley again, and Wesclin leads 6-5 with 5:55 to go in the opening quarter. Frank Bissoni along with Art Kimball and Coach Jim Mungie from Lawrenceville at Assembly Hall. Maytone, a 6-foot senior, co-captain, had 31 in the super. He had heart surgery in April. Nichols.
Big guy's tough, Frank. He can shoot it out there and take it to the hole both.
And Shelbyville goes to the front, 7-6. Not much in the hands of Paul Lusk. There he is, 6'4". Lays the pass downstairs for a deuce for Dieters.
He does that so well. Being a coach's son, he understands the game, and he gives it up.
Chad Deiters got the basket, and here's a turnover. Shelbyville turns it over to the Warriors. The pressure pays for Wesclin. Wesclin means West Clinton. They're from Clinton County, of course, in the Cahokia Conference. Mag Brink is 30, and Lust up top goes at 6'4". Here comes Lust. Strip. Picked off by Maytone. The Rams run. Maytone and Nichols. Nichols for three.
Your 6'6" postman buries a three. That tells you what kind of balance they have on this ball team.
32 in the super for Nichols. He has 7 already. Brinks out in three-point land. Comes to the left. Fridley. Brent Brady got 3 and tied the game. And if you like offense, you may like this one.
This is all we look for, and maybe more, Frank. I think this is going to continue all day.
Man-to-man, Maytone a quick trigger. Well, he's the fastest gun from the West. And on the move, Lust tries to answer. Comes to the left, stop and pop, no. Rebound, Jarrett Brown. Look at Maytone hurry. Nichols and Maytone. Nice pass inside Roney. Defense by Fridley.
Nice block, and Kid stayed with it and went out and picked up his own block shot.
Maytone runs the offense. This is Fernhaber. Inside Roney for 2. He ran that offense to perfection. Fridley comes to the right. Baseline. Brink in the lane. Has it slapped away, and Nichols picks it up. Second turnover on Wesclin. Look at this game. Paul Lust to the right. A 3. No. Rebound. Landhammer. No. And a foul. I talked to the coaches down at Wesclin and also at Shelbyville, and the Rams people say Matt, M-A-T-O-N, pronounces his name Maytone. That's what the coaches told me.
Well, okay, that's not what Adams is doing.
What is he calling him?
Maytone.
Nichols rebound. Nichols is open for 3. Rebound Lust. Lost the ball to Roney. Missed. And Brady rebound. It's a 12-10 Shelbyville lead. 2:50 to go. Fridley. Goal! Fridley hit a 3. 4 outside shooters and a 6'6 center. Maytone backs out. This is Brown. Jarrett Brown. It's 15-13 Shelbyville. And nobody will blink.
No, they better not. They'll miss a lot of action. These teams are really pushing it up and down the floor, Frank.
Lust gives to Brady, back to Lust. He goes inside. Look at his strength.
Maybe that's what I was on the other time when they got him.
He's a great passer. He's also got a lot of strength. And Iowa's going to be happy to have him. Maytone tries a 3. Wesclin, the long rebound, up ahead Lust. All the way. And Wesclin takes the lead back by a deuce. Paul Lust has 4. Nichols comes out. We're going to get some substitutes for the Rams. 15, Ryan Gruen, and 13, Eric Boyer comes in with timeout on the court. 1:43 to play in the opening quarter. It's sizzling. Wesclin leads by 2. And we'll be back after this from one of your network sponsors, John Deere. Well, Shelbyville and Wesclin have come out gunning.
Boy, they have. And the Nichols, Steve Nichols from Shelbyville for 6'6", does a lot of things well. This is going to be a contest, I think, going down to the wire. Maybe bench strength will tell, because college floor in this pace, you're going to need more than 5 guys.
Nichols comes out for Shelbyville. They're in the purple, in case you just joined us. Wesclin in white. The Rams kick the ball to Maytone, a 3. Yes. Matthew Vernon Maytone. And they call him Vern on the team.
Well, Vern can shoot it.
So can Lust. He missed that one. Rebound on the baseline. Here comes Maytone again. He's got such a quick release. They have to guard him far out onto the floor. He shoots 43% from the three-point line. Druin gets inside to Nichols, and he's fouled. Stephen Nichols is tough.
Well, they run that little motion, and then they clear the side and make the post entry, and that time he got fouled on the shot.
42. Matt Brandmeier picked up the foul. And Wesclin gets Chad Deiters back in, D-E-I-T-E-R-S, for Brandmeier. Nichols will attend Eastern Illinois University. One minute to play in a fast-paced opening quarter. Wesclin lost to Greenville, Charleston, Missouri, and Flora. And Nichols put it at home. Shelbyville by 2. And for Shelbyville, 55, Darren Kennel, a 6'3 sophomore, comes in for Nichols.
Coach Egan's used 3 subs, and Coach Luskey's only used 1. We'll see if that has anything to bear on the game later on.
Brady goes inside to Lusk for an easy one, and he missed it. He had his man pinned. Bruin was pinned down there, and Lusk got all by himself and couldn't get it down. But Wesclin has the ball back, and they shoot for the tie. 47 seconds left in this first period. Brink, 5'8 senior, he's the point guard. And that's Brady. Brady can score 20 points, 12 rebounds a game. But Lusk at 29, the leader there, 50. Wesclin wants 1. They're going to shoot for a tie or maybe the lead with a 3. Look at the Rams push their defense out farther. It's man-to-man. Natone guards Brink.
They're very good at this North Carolina type stall. Now with about 10 seconds, they'll probably go into something they want set up.
There's your clock, and it now reaches 10. Here they go. It's Fridley. It's Brady for a jump shot that's too long, but he's fouled. Foul's going to go against Eric Boyer. Should be a 2-shot foul. There's Darren Kennel, 55, who just came in a little while ago. And Brent Brady, spelled B-R-E-D-E, a 6'4 senior. His dad played in 1964 for Wesclin. For Trenton. This for the tie. Still almost 6 seconds for Shelbyville to shoot. Here they come. Druin. Too long, rebounded the gun by Roney. No. At the end of a running quarter at Champaign-Urbana in the first quarterfinal, it's Wesclin 19 and Shelbyville 19. Now this from one of your network sponsors, the Dairy Farmers of Wisconsin and Illinois. Conference is last year's champions. Shelbyville, of course, you see on the map, they're south of Decatur, they're southwest of Champaign-Urbana. In the first quarter, Shelbyville shot 50% and Wesclin 53% from the field. We're checking with the coaches once again on Shelbyville, and they say Mayton. They told us earlier Maytone. We want to get it right. We'll ask Matt after a while.
I'm getting out of breath running around the assembly hall checking pronunciation, Frank.
We thank you. Boyer's outside to Nichols, and Nichols got it down.
Well, when you got a six player shooting and a 5'9 guard defending, if the kid can shoot, he's definitely going to get his shot.
And Brink just hit one back the other way. Mike Brink, who's got 44 threes during the season, ties this game with a 2. Mayton comes up to Nichols. They keep playing that 2-man game. Coming out, Druin is 15, Roney 33. Splits 2 men, got inside and got fouled.
4 3-pointers, Frank, thus far in the ballgame. We've had 4 3-pointers. I have a suspicion we're going to see a lot more in the second half in particular.
You're looking at Chad Deiters, 22. And there's the foul on Deiters and Jared Roney, 6-foot senior. Puts it down. He's a 72% foul shooter, which is good, not great.
very good as a team average, but the real great ones shoot the 80-some%, but 72 is a good shooter.
I think Gary Tidwell's 89. We'll see him tonight. Roney hits another. That was 100% there. Shelbyville by 2. Just started second quarter, Assembly Hall. That's Matt Fridley. Some call him the heart of the team. In it goes Brady. He's a left-hander. Triple team kicks it out. Fridley's open. He's got it back. Easy one.
They've got some real good balance on the board, Frank. It's going to be tough for Shelbyville down on that defensive board. They got to do a better job checking out.
Sliding through, Boyer couldn't get it to go, but he's got it back. And Matan moves away from his man. Open, Roney. Nichols rebounds. This time Brady. Wesclin's Warriors on the hunt. Lusk, high dribble. Lusk going to roam the baseline a little bit now. A lob inside to Brady. He turns and scores. And he's fouled. Nice move by Brent Brady.
Both Brady and Lusk have good inside moves, and as outside shooters that can put it on the floor, that really gives them a lot of weapons in their arsenal.
His second, the team's fourth. Brady shoots one shot.
Brady has 9 already. And the Warriors lead by 3. They won by 15 the first time these teams played. And Shelbyville told me they thought they'd have to play more zone against Wesclin this time.
Well, we haven't seen that zone yet. It may come later.
Gruen is 15. And Roney comes out. He's blocked by Brady. McTone, look at that. Boy, he got that shot off in a wink. Foul on Wesclin.
Nichols hustled for the loose ball and got there just a little ahead of Wesclin player. And Nichols looks like going to the line.
The Shelby town is named from the Shelby breed of ram. The town's a county seat of Shelby County, and they're tough kids.
Looks like Eastern Illinois has got themselves a pretty good ball player here in Mr. Nichols, doesn't it? Strong forward type in college, I'm sure, but he can shoot the three. I'm sure they like that.
He also can run the floor.
Yeah.
Nichols knocks it in. He shoots threes off the trailer. He's a trailer on their fast break, and Matan watches for him and then bangs.
Lance Gymnasium may be very homey for him down there at Charleston.
Now we'll take a look from top as Wesclin with a 1-point lead, and White has the ball. Look at that shot. Assembly Hall bedecked, and this is a big house here today, and people are still coming in. Fridley is 44 on the right wing. This is Brink, eyes up a three. Go!
This kid doesn't shoot often. He did the same thing in the Super Second. He shot 4 times from the field, made them all.
Nichols again, triple teamed, it doesn't matter. He's got a size advantage, and he uses it. Lusk, the left-hand dribble. The coach's son shoots. Matan rebounded it, but dropped it out of bounds to Wesclin.
Nichols a 55% shooter from the field, Frank. 68 at the line with that 17.7 average. Had 32 in the Super, as you mentioned.
Little ball fake by Brink, and he goes across the lane. Lusk didn't want that shot. Brady will take this one. 3. Ball's right here. Great save by Brink. He jumped over the bench. He just jumped over us. He took somebody out. He might be hurt. Let's see. Yep, he popped up. He's standing right behind us. What an effort by Mike Brink, flying right over to get that ball.
Hard-nosed kid. I think all the Wesclin kids played very hard. He just literally flew over that table, but he's probably got a slight Charlie, but he looks like he's going to be all right.
Well, the radio broadcaster took a worse beating than Brink did down the line. He really got rolled.
He thought Hulk Hogan was here.
Yeah.
Inside, nice move by Brady. And Wesclin leads by 4, 31-27, 4:40 to go in the first half. Wesclin again. They're putting pressure on with their offense. Lusk goes all the way to the lane. Paul Lusk.
Looks like we're going to get a timeout, Frank.
The Rams have to stop the momentum as Wesclin has moved to a lead of 6. We'll be right back. Let's take time out from one of your network sponsors, Country Company. Trenton Wesclin is in the lead, 33-27 over Shelbyville as a pair of teams with 27-3 match. Here's All-Stater Paul Lust, 50 of Wesclin.
Makes a nice drive, nice pull-up jumper off the glass. The young man on the defense just slid aside.
Our next game coming up, the Farmers of Farmington against Aurora Christian Eagles. And then this evening, Prairie Central goes against Marengo, Pittsfield, and Norris City. All coming up on our first quarterfinal day of March Madness for 1990. Shelbyville with the ball, if you just joined us, 25. Matt Fernhaber lobs to the goal to Nichols. He grabs it, puts it up, and he fouls. Set play to go to Nichols.
Set play off the backdoor pick. Lob was a little short, and he couldn't quite put it down, but he did get his rebound and get fouled. Here's the pass again. You see it was a little short, and Lust got his hand on it, but he stayed with the ball, grabbed it, and then put it up and got fouled.
Nice second effort there by Steve Nichols. He's a leading rebounder for this team in all games this season, but 4 out of 30. Made All-State honorable mention.
He's definitely a quality ball player, and he's shown in this first half that he can do a lot of things with the basketball at 6'6".
Coach Paul Lusk over on the bench, I don't know if we have a shot of him or not, but he has really been chewing with Clive Hornstein out there, the official. Unhappy about the call, I think, inside. He wants to know if he can play tough baseline defense. And
well, you see Diders sitting on the bench bleeding from the lower lip.
Well, maybe that's what Paul Lusk, the senior, the coach, was concerned about, Frank.
22, Chad Diders, a 6'3 junior, sits down and looks to be all right. And this is Steve Nichols. He's got Shelbyville within 5. Good frame on the youngster.
Well-built kid. It looks like he can probably carry another 15 pounds as he matures, too.
He missed that one. Paul Lust tapped at the rebound, but he lost it, and Shelbyville keeps it. 4 minutes and a second to go in the first half. Nobody in foul trouble in the early going. Matan with the ball out top. They like to get him his shot. Fernhaber comes to the right. They run their offense. Matan pops out with the ball. There's the post set by Roney inside. Nichols, foul line pop. Lust rebounds and hurries. He sees the floor well, good passer.
Excellent basketball player, Frank.
Oh, look at that. Nice move to the right for an easy 2. Paul Lust. Lust has 8. He averages 29 points and 10.5 rebounds a game. Quick move to Roney. Inside Nichols. Steps in, puts it up, and he is fouled, and he nearly got himself a 3-point opportunity.
He's an excellent player, and he knows what to do with the ball. And they run their offense nicely, bring him out to high post, let him look or drive, and then he drops down low if he doesn't get the ball.
Looks like Shelbyville has matchup problems with Lusk, and looks like Wesclin has matchup problems with Nichols.
You're right.
Nichols is 2 inches taller than anybody else on the floor, and he got that in. It's a 6-point Wesclin lead, 35-29.
16 points already for Nichols.
He's the leading scorer in the game. 1 out of 2 there. He averages just under 18. He's got 16 early. Maybe they'll go to Matan later for the 3s. Ridley looked at one. Wesclin runs their offense. Brady, a stop, a pop. And Matan got the rebound. He's going to push the ball. Here comes Nichols as the trailer. Roney got in. Blocked by Brady. And a foul. Good defensive work by Brady.
Brady's an excellent player.
Watch Roney go in here.
Nice drive, good pump fake, gets him up in the air. Looked like he got a hand on the basketball, and then the ensuing foul on the rebound.
Hey, Jared Roney likes the glass for a guy only 6 feet, doesn't he? He's a 49% shooter, and looks to me like he gets most of them inside the paint.
For Shelbyville, 13, Eric Boyer comes back in the game, a 5'11 senior. Here's Brent Brady. Not this time. Nichols covers up, and Shelbyville tries to cut into this 6-point lead. They can cut it in half with one shot. Nichols got in. And Fridley rebounded. Nichols is most of the offense for the Rams right now. There's the clock. First half showing 2.5 minutes. Brink runs the team from the point. Patient running a stack, coming off of it. Lust post. Well, he's an active guy at 6'4". He plays outside and in. Trying to get him the ball.
That's what makes he and Brady so effective. They'll play that wing and then go screen low. If you get a switch down there with a 6-footer on them, they're going to find him and get him the basketball.
They play really without a center. 2 minutes, first half. Lust wants the ball inside. Wesclin showing patience. They have a 6-point lead in the ball. Brady swirls to the left, steps in, puts it up and missed. Lust tipped at it. Here comes Brink again, and he saved it. Saved it to Brandmeier. Fridley double team baseline. And he's fouled. Matt Fridley is held by Nichols.
Their deceiving ball club, Lusk and Brady, have led them in scoring or rebounding in every game.
You can see this better from on top. Look at Brink here come and get the ball.
Here's that kid with that hustle. Brink's a valuable player on this ball club.
Going to the free throw line, Matt Fridley, 6'2 senior, 65% success from the free throw line. Here's Fridley getting fouled.
Pump fake inside, split the defenders, and took it to the basket.
Free throws in. The point of emphasis in officiating this year in the high school is actually cleaning up post defense.
You know, Frank,
starting inside, but you don't.
Not to interrupt you, Frank, but I guess maybe I should discuss hair if anybody should. But looking at these two ball clubs, this is a throwback to the old Huff Gym days, isn't it?
You bet.
They don't call them crew cuts anymore, do they?
They're cleaned up. Fridley put them.
Thank you.
Well, let's put it this way, Art. It's neat.
It sure is.
Matan gives it up to Nichols. They play the two-man game again. Druin is 15, and he comes outside to Boyer. Uh-oh. There's a bad pass by the Rams. That's the third turnover on Shelbyville. And Wesclin, with an 8-point lead now, is going to try to slip away.
I tell you, Coach Lusk has his penchant for holding the ball, making sure it's a good inside shot when he has a lead. So I look for them to be real patient, look for that layup.
Almost a 1-4 offensive set as they exchange down low. A lot of movement away from the ball for Wesclin. 1 minute in the first half. First quarterfinal game. Aurora Christian Farmington coming up next. Mike Brink dances up between the rings.
You know, as Frank, we're without Paul Lusk, the player on the court. He has 2 fouls, and I'm sure Coach Lusk doesn't want him to get that third one just before the half.
Absolutely. Remember, Diders got popped in the mouth, too. He's out, too. Brink on the right. Hemmed in. Donnie Maddenwald helping out, replacing Lusk. Clock melts now. We're down to 23 seconds. Wesclin played a sparkling first half.
Look for Brady or Fridley to get the ball and cut down off a post screen for a layup.
7 seconds. Fridley, 3. Rebound, Nichols. He throws the ball length of the court, and he called for traveling with 0.2 of a second, essentially too short a time to do anything.
Well, let's put it this way. It was a shot anyway by one of those two guys, Art. No, it wasn't a layup, but he did get a screen. He decided not to drive and shoot the 3.
In it comes as Brink fires it up there, and that's the end of the first half of action at the Assembly Hall in Class A as the Wesclin Warriors lead the Shelbyville Rams 37-29. We'll come back at the big hall in just a moment, but now timeout for this from one of your network sponsors, John Deere.
Men, look at John Deere's visibility to the front wheels. Ooh, Deer has an excellent view of the crop, sir.
So what are we going to do about it?
We're working on a paradoxical periscope with equal view to both front wheels, sir.
Deer's sound guard body has an excellent view to the rear drawbar, too, sir.
So what are we doing about that rear view?
You know what.
This is the Country Company's halftime report, brought to you by the Country Companies. When it matters most, the country's behind you.
We are courtside at Assembly Hall. I'm Jim Albrecht, and with me, one of this year's Sweet 16 coaches in Class AA, and he's used to it. Tom Flora's team has been down here 4 of the last 7 years, and the last team to beat Wesclin this year was your Flora Ball Club. They're pretty tough, aren't they?
They are. They have outstanding balance. They're led by an all-stater in Paul Lust, who has signed to go to the University of Iowa. So they have an outstanding team with good balance, and we match up with them pretty well and beat them by 12 the first time, but just could not handle them in the super sectional.
I know there was a lot of discussion going back and forth back before the year 87-88 when they installed the three-point shot. I know you were one of the people probably who said, hey, let's go with this, because you've got a young man named Locum on your team who not only set a record, but your whole team holds the record for three-point shooting in the state.
Right. When they put it in, I thought it was the most exciting thing they've done for basketball in years, and I think it's worked out that way over the last couple of years. But when I sat down and looked at the percentages of 100 shots, I thought, well, if we make 40 from the three-point line, we're going to get 120 points. And the only way you could match up with that from inside the line, you'd have to shoot 60% and make 60 baskets. The only place you can do that is on the post. So to me, there's only 2 shots you need to take. One is a 3 and one is a post-up.
So you put that in your offense. I know Locum has 375 career three-point shots. Your team, as I said, hit over 300 to earn the seasonal record. So you just set up high picks, make sure they get open for that shot?
Right, and then we isolate our post man on the post. And our team, I think, had like 320 three-pointers this year. Locum had 120 of those. So you can see that the rest of our people also shoot it. We had 4 players that shot the 3 for us, and then 1 that posted up.
And it's also good to have an inside guy you can go to loosen things up on the outside, and you certainly had one of those.
Well, that's the other half. We had Curtis Lieb, who was AP All-State team, and he played the post for us, and I'd say it probably set the single-season record. He averaged 23 points a game and shot 70% for field goals.
When you get this close, you've been here before, what's your attitude towards making it this far and then it goes away? Because there can only be one that wins it all. How have you settled with that in your mind? Everybody wants to win it, but not everybody can.
Well, it's the hardest thing in basketball to cope with, because, you can have a great year. I remember one year Breeze Matter Day was like 29-0 and got beat in the super sectional. And when you get beat like that and don't get to state, it ruins your whole season. So it is one of the toughest things to handle in high school basketball.
Well, Tom Welch had another great year, 27-5 with Flora. We'll probably see you down here again soon someday.
Well, I hope so.
Okay, that's the coach of the Flora Wolves. I'm Jim Albrecht, and we'll be back with more of our halftime. First game here is underway in the quarterfinals of Class A.
Frank Bissoni along with Coach Jim Mungie at courtside at the Assembly Hall in the first quarterfinal game where Wesclin leads Shelbyville. It was 19-19 at the end of the first quarter in this hot shooting game. And then in the second quarter, Wesclin took the lead and outscored Shelbyville 18-10 to take this lead of 8 over here at the first half. Coach Jim Mungie, tell me about Wesclin and your impression of them in the first half. How did you like how they played, and did they get done what they set out to do?
I think so, Frank. I think that first 4 minutes, both teams were really up and they were feeling each other out, really pushing the ball up the floor. But as the game, got into the groove, they ran their offense well, and Lusk and Brady did the things that, got them where they are right now, and their other players did a good job.
Look at Paul Lusk.
Paul Lusk on the drive, nice pull-up jumper. He has a lot of moves, can do a lot of things well, and as we discussed during the telecast, he's a good player.
16 first half points also by Steve Nichols of Shelbyville. And here's Matt Matan with the ball, and watch Nichols run the floor. There's it. He's a trailer.
Going to put up the nice 3, nice touch, good rotation, and he's comfortable with that, so he's not afraid to shoot the ball there at all.
couple of the other people that impressed me during that first half include Brent Brady of Wesclin. Brady is left-handed. He's active. And this is a team that doesn't appear to have a real weakness.
No, they don't. Their point guard's an excellent player and a good hustler, and they've got good balance. They're a good, excellent team. They could be a team to win it all.
Okay, now Shelbyville, 8 down. You're going to coach them during the halftime here. What are you going to do to change up the tempo of this game or the hot shooting of Wesclin? What do you want to do if you're Shelbyville?
I think maybe Coach Egan might try to extend his defense a little bit and pressure them just a little bit. Try to get the game more wide open like it was in the first quarter. It's settled down a little bit to a half-court game with Wesclin having the basketball. So I look for him to do that and maybe be a little more patient outside and get Nichols inside just a little more.
We'll be right back with the second half of our first quarterfinal game. And now this from the IHSA. This is Jackson with 3. Jackson lets fly. Goal! Jackson won the game!
Who will be state champion for 63? Pass into Williams. Tries to slap it away. The ball is stolen by Smedley. He shoots. He scores!
Up quickly, right corner to Horton. Horton launches the jumper. No good. Rebound. Gamble is good.
It's March Madness. Now, relive the incredible history of the Illinois High School basketball tournament on one fabulous cassette. Meet the great players and coaches. See the unforgettable teams, the powerhouses, and the sentimental favorites. The wild finishes, the classic thrillers. March Madness, now yours. Just send check or money order for $32.95 to this address or call toll-free 1-800-621-0660. That's 1-800-621-0660. Major credit cards accepted. Order now.
Big crowd at the Assembly Hall enjoying the action, and I think we'll see some three-point shooting as the second half rolls around because Shelbyville still got some weapons in that department. And it's Matt Matone who can really fire them up from out there. He shoots threes. He's had 80 threes in the season, and he can shoot 43% from that line. So you're going to see Shelbyville, in my opinion, shoot some threes here in the second half at Wesclin.
I also think Roney made some good moves in the first half, didn't get the ball to go down. If he keeps taking aggressively to the boards, I think he's going to contribute a little bit to their scoring this second half.
Well, the scoring was interesting, and so are the statistics, with Wesclin shooting 52% in the first half, and Shelbyville cooled off to 38. You'll notice the rebounds about even, free throws fairly even with 5 apiece. This is a pretty even matchup all the way. That shooting percentage for Wesclin in the second quarter turned it.
That turned it. They were getting the ball inside, and that was the difference.
Nichols led the way, the center, at 16 points. Matt Matone with 6. Jared Roney 4, and Jarrett Brown with 3. For Wesclin, a lot of balance. Brady with 11, Fridley with 11, and Lusk, who averages 29, had but 8, and he may be heard of in the second half.
Right. He'll play in spurts, and he'll take it on himself only when needed. The rest of the time, he's going to get the ball to the open people.
That's Jim Egan, and he told me that the three-point shot, quote, allows us to compete. He said, we changed our offense 2 years ago, and that allows us to get it done.
When you only got one kid over 6 foot tall, you have to have another weapon, and that three-pointer's done that.
Wesclin starts second half with the ball. Here we go. If you're just joining us, this is the second half of the first game. Aurora Christian Farmington coming up next. First shot of the second half is rebounded by Nichols, and Shelbyville tries to get it rolling. In the land of the 3, an 8-point lead isn't very much. Fernhaber comes outside. Pass down low. Brown's loose. He missed. Jared Brown found himself wide open. And a whistle. Double dribble on Mike Brink. 4th turnover for Wesclin. Been fairly errorless free game.
Right. That last possession by Shelbyville, they ran their pattern excellent. They got the double screen for Maton, but he found the man open inside. Brown just couldn't connect.
Oh, Fridley knifed at that pass to the wing. That's why that player is always told to come meet that ball. Here's the stack. Wesclin puts a little pressure on, now drops it back. Just starting second half. There's a look at Matan. Comes to the right, got free, and he missed. Not having his shooting like he normally does yet. Lust brings it up. Lust with that high dribble.
It's deceiving because he wants you to come after the ball, and then he's going to burn you if you come after it a little bit.
Looks like he cups that ball once in a while, but he's clean so far. Right wing, stepping up. You see him spot up. Look to where your feet are. Brink, he drilled a three.
He's 3 for 3 today from there. He was 4 for 4 in the super section, so this young man can shoot the basketball.
Coaches always tell you, here's Matan. He tried to answer with a three, didn't get it. One of the players for Shelbyville hit the deck over there. I believe it was Nichols. He got blocked out.
Coach Egan wasn't happy about that call, so Coach Lust can smile now. He was unhappy in the first half.
Here's a lob inside to Nichols, and he is bumped and fouled by Brandmeier. Wesclin 40 and Shelbyville 29, and the Rams need a couple of hoops.
Needed badly. This next couple minutes determine whether this game's going to be close at the end or not, I think.
Roney's inside. He missed. That's 2 layups missed by Shelbyville here in the second half. Lust pushes. Fridley's open. Fridley missed a pretty easy one. He's got it back, and he's fouled. Matan got him. Fridley at 6'2" plays bigger.
He's a very good contributor to this ball club. There's that action under the boards again. It's kind of a loose ball, and finally Fridley comes up with it and gets fouled over the back by Maton.
One of the young guns in this tournament, and there are many. All springs. Now Shelbyville feels the pressure.
They've got to get something to go down here pretty quick. They've missed a couple easy shots and a misfired rebound basket by Nichols.
They got to keep taking their shots. There's a lob inside Nichols. They double-teamed him and fouled him again. That seems to be the place that Shelbyville wants to go now, is down on the block to Stephen Nichols.
Well, they changed their set this half from the first half. They're running that 1-4, run the guard through, getting the picks for Maton, and then if that's not there, then they drop the big boy down on the baseline and get him the ball.
Donnie Maddenwald checks in. Brandmeier out with his 4th foul for Wesclin. Roney eyes it, rattled it out. Nice rebound by Nichols. Punched it back out. And the Rams set back up. Shelbyville looking for their first hoop this half. Roney, split 2.
I was going to say, he might have got by with a walk earlier, but they got him on this one.
So Shelbyville still hasn't scratched. And Wesclin comes down. They run Lusk out to the top. Brady walks.
The game's getting a little sloppy right now, Frank. We're not seeing the same kind of ball game that we saw in the first half.
5 turnovers on Wesclin now. Sometimes you play not to lose. Oh, Nichols made a nice move. He got free and got it down, and it counts. Pretty move by Steve Nichols.
He's trying to do it all, and Wesclin that time a little breakdown defensively didn't slide into the lane. Watch this. Fake pass, drives up the middle, no backside help, just takes it to the hole.
We had a graphic that was wrong a moment ago. Brandmeier has 2, not 4 fouls, and Nichols will try to convert a 3. This could be a real lift for the Rams. He had 32 in the super against Finley, signaled he was ready. He knocked it in. And all of a sudden it's a 10-point game and 5.5 to play, 3rd quarter. Take a look at Paul Lust. Hard for the Rams to match up with him. He's too big for a guard for most teams. Brady got free.
There's a case where Brady posted up with a 6-footer on him after Lust got rid of the ball and went through. So it's going to be tough for Shelbyville if they let him get it inside like that.
13 for Brady. Matan has it blocked. That quick release wasn't quick enough. Lust pushes it up. There's Fridley. And the Warriors run the break.
Coach Egan's going to get a timeout here pretty quick.
Shelbyville has to stop it. We'll be back at the Assembly Hall in just a moment. One of your network sponsors, is Country Company. Shelbyville called a timeout. They're 14 down. What's the story?
Well, he's got to get them relaxed a little bit and execute that offense, and he can't let them have another breakdown defensively where they get an easy pass break layup. So I think Coach Egan's just stressing the fact right now it's a long time for the end of the ball game, and you've got to get yourself back together and peck away at this lead and make it respectable.
Here's the attempt by Matone for the three.
Lusk kicks it out quick. We've got a 4-on-1. Nice pass inside to Fridley and easy layup.
All right, now let's see how Shelbyville responds. By the way, Chicago Sun-Times listed their all-state team today, and their issue and their player of the year in Class A was Rennie Clemens. The time shot is not good. Shelbyville can't shake it free. They're a better shooting team than this. Here's a three-point try down by Fridley. And Wesclin smells blood.
I think Wesclin feels it right now, and Shelbyville just cannot get one to go down. They're going to run this 1-4 set again.
Here's a lob inside to Nichols. He's got it point blank, and it wouldn't go down. Tough break for Nichols.
Very tough. They say in our area, sometimes you get the bear, sometimes he gets you. They've got the good shots. They just can't score.
That's Southern Illinois if the word go. No doubt about that. You know, Frank and Jim, one thought here. Let's say this game continues the way it is, and Aurora Christian should survive Farmington. Well, we have no idea that's going to happen, but Nichols get a lot of shots inside. And, of course, Aurora Christian has Davidson at 6'6", so that might be the problem Trenton Wesclin has, but they're very impressive, I think. Very balanced.
Well, Aurora Christian has the same size club as Shelbyville. Their other people aren't too tall.
Yeah. Matan made a nice play defensively. Took the ball length of the court and missed it. Shelbyville did everything right but get it down. And they're looking at a 17-point Wesclin lead. 3:40 to go, third quarter. Lusk is open. He left it short. Matan inside Fernhaber. Look at him kick out. Three-point spot up. And a foul on the Rams.
You can see the frustration on the Shelbyville kids. They're executing very well, but they just are not shooting the ball worth a darn, and that just kills you.
They shot 47% for the season, and they averaged 69 points a game for the season. And today they can't get them to go in.
They've had 3 points this half, Frank.
After only a 10-point second quarter. Wesclin keeps the ball on the board. Fridley.
You know, we talk a lot about Lusk and Brady, but Fridley's an excellent player, as is Brinks. This is a well-balanced ball club.
Very much so. They got Maddenwall giving them some help, too, now.
20 points for Fridley right now, which, of course, is a big contribution.
Fridley with 21 in the Super and now 20, 41 and counting. Yeah.
And Lusk still with 8, but making a great contribution.
Now, his presence is the reason some of these other kids are getting their shot.
Absolutely.
Boyer checks back in for the Rams, as does Brian Gruen. Wesclin in control of the game and playing like it. Fridley is fouled. Roney got him, going to the basket.
Right now, frustration with the Shelbyville players. They're really pondering what they have to do, and so they've got to get it together. There's still a lot of time left.
And Wesclin is showing you why they scored 100 points or more 4 times this year. You know, sometimes your teams just have to step up to the next level, and Wesclin has done it so far this year, coming out of that same Cahokia conference that produced the state champion last year.
Well, that's a tough area for basketball. I think that they've had the schedule and played in the kind of tournaments that prepare them for something like the state tournament series.
Matan, who had heart surgery and has come back with a replaced valve, charging on Nichols, and the Rams turn it over again.
You know, that's an interesting point you're making, gentlemen. You talk to the Chicago AA coaches, and they talk about how tough it is to advance. The Class A coaches, particularly in the southwestern portion of the state, have exactly the same problem. So your rep is going to be very good no matter who it may be.
There's a lot of good basketball teams in that part of the state.
Ridley goes to the right corner. They leave the post open. Now Brady flashes in there. Lust tries. Can't hit. This is the first time it's tied up on the rebound, and it goes to the Rams on the alternating possession. High school basketball, of course, has the three-point shot, and it's the same as college, 19 feet, 9 inches. Lust, the great scorer for Wesclin, is 4 for 13, and they lead by 19.
His dad, Paul, had a few words to say to him over there in a little break in the action, so I'm sure he wants you to keep playing hard, but get the ball to people that are hot.
Tough move by Nichols inside. He set a tough post, and he whirled and smacked it in. Just under 2 minutes, third quarter. Traveling violation on Madenwald, and it gives the Rams a chance to get 4 in a row.
Thinking back to our pregame conversation, I thought it was interesting that Paul Lust Sr. stated how difficult it was to have your own son playing for you, particularly in the starring role. And he says, fortunately, he's a kid that has really given 100% effort. It's made it a bit easier.
He did. He talked at length about that. He's just nothing tougher than coaching your own son. Here's Nichols open. Yes, sir.
Well, he's come alive. That might give them the lift that they need to get back in this thing.
23 for Nichols. 4 quick points by Shelbyville. Minute and a half, third quarter. That's Brady. Look at the nice steal. Anticipated by Gruen. He's going to try to go all the way, and he's fouled. Brian Gruen, quick. Made a nice move defensively and gives Shelbyville a little life.
Real quick hand.
Diders gets back in the game for Wesclin.
He just overplayed the passing lane, and Brady didn't see him and threw the ball, and he was right there.
He's been 56% successful at the foul line, but he hit that one. The run is 5 for Shelbyville now, and they could use 5 more.
Well, the bench from Shelbyville is putting up 20 over there, which indicates their defense will play on this possession.
And a miss. Lust horses the boards, and here he comes. A stop and pop. Bingo. It was a 2-pointer. 5th field goal for Lust. He has 10. 53-37, Wesclin. The Warriors in white in the lead. Matan, he could shoot a few threes. Brown's open. Jarrett Brown knocked it in, and all of a sudden Shelbyville's offense is warmed up.
They're starting to feel a little more relaxed right now, and it's still the third quarter, so there's a tough 8 minutes left ahead of Wesclin, and here they come with their delay again.
Well, they're looking at back-to-back 10-point quarters unless they get untracked, and that really hurts you down here.
Brink checks up at the clock. Says 37 seconds. Are they going for one?
Yeah, they'll run it down to 10 and go for something unless they get a layup before then.
Ridley's open. Didn't go for it. Watch the movement now away from the ball. It's very good. They set they set a double screen low. Brink pops out. There's the clock. Third quarter. That's Paul Lust. He'll go for it. Here comes
Go
Lust.
run a clear out.
Lust open. Missed it. Long rebound. Brady at the gun. Overshot. Rebound Lust. No. And there it is. They got 3 cracks.
3 shots at it, but, you know, they've got the lead, and I think he wanted to make sure it didn't get any closer than that.
At the end of 3, Wesclin's still in control. Now let's pause for these messages. That's the atmosphere when you have a fantasy season. And the fantasy season ends with what the players call going to the hall.
Isn't that the truth? And 2 coaches with 2 different ideas. One's got a 14-point lead. He's telling them, play tough, don't be foolish, hang on. The other coach saying, we've got 8 minutes. Let's go get them, put the pressure on, and let's get them.
One of the players last year told us, we're going to the Elite 8, and you know what that is? It's Disney World. Well, we're 1 quarter away from finding the first semifinalist, and Paul Lust tries to make that Wesclin. Rebound Brady at 6'4". Brady kicks it out, and Brink flings it down the lane. Shelbyville will have first crack now to break the ice in the second half. In the last quarter, let's put it that way. There's less than 8 minutes. inside Nichols. Look how strong he is. He battled twice, and Lust has it. Some good shots.
Very good shots. And Paul Lusk has a way of finding the basketball, doesn't he?
Ridley holds way out on the court. They push the defense out there. Open Brink. Long rebound, Brink. This time it's in. Stayed right with it. He has 10. That's his average. 16-point Wesclin lead. See if the Rams pop a few threes. Matt Matan, the 6-foot senior, number 11. Much better scorer than he showed in this game so far. Fakes to the left. The shot is short. And the rebound and a foul goes against the Rams, Eric Boyer.
Frank, one thing we probably should mention this afternoon, excellent crowd. This is, I suppose, I would guess they're between 12 and 13,000, wouldn't you? Looking at the, that may be a little overstated, but it's an excellent crowd for the first game of the Friday session.
And there'll be another big crowd here tonight. You can count on that.
Class A basketball grabs the imagination of the schools involved. No question about that, and their fans.
Free throw, not good by Brady. Well, the four teams that play tonight, all they have is a record of 116-4. You can believe that.
Might get a couple of folks there, don't you think?
Nichols is inside, and he's fouled. Very difficult to handle when he sets the post.
It looks like they're not going to give him anything, though. They're going to make him earn it from the line.
Watch Steve Nichols go down on the low block. There he is. Look at him set it up.
Nice entry pass, straight up. A lot of body contact, and he misses the shot.
This could be a young man on the edge of brilliance. Eastern Illinois University might have himself one heck of a player.
Kind of kid that's going to mature and get better, and he's a very good player right now.
You saw Matt Brandmeier check back in for Wesclin, 6'2" senior.
You notice the demeanor of all these kids, great control. That to me is a sign of very good coaching.
Excellent programs and very good coaching. Kids play level-headed and keep poised about themselves.
15-point Wesclin lead now. And Trenton has the basketball. Who beat him, you say? Greenville, 68-64. Charleston, Missouri by 9, and Flora by 12.
You know, Shelbyville would have gotten rid of Breeze Mater Dei this year. They would have only lost one ball game. That's the Trenton Wesclin. In the Vandalia Holiday Tournament, 74-59, but they lost to Breeze Mater Dei twice, once in overtime.
Both these teams beat Springfield Calvary, and they were very good. There's Nichols open, and with 6 minutes to go, Nichols gets Shelbyville within 13. 9 out of 17 for Nichols shooting.
It's going to be a tough climb back simply because I think Wesclin will take care of the ball pretty well.
There's a miss by Lusk, but Fridley's got it. And rebounding has been the answer for Wesclin. They keep getting second and third chances.
Well, that 6'4", 6'3", 6'5" size, Nichols is the only guy over 6 foot on his ball club, and that's a load for a young man to have to try to do by himself. But there's Fridley cutting through the middle, misses the shot. They scratch for that rebound, and there's Brady getting hacked on the arm, taking it up strong. They play hard, don't they, Frank? The real aggressive ball club.
For the Rams, Matt Fernhaber comes back in. Druin goes out. You know, there's a lot of excellent athletes in this tournament. This Brent Brady is one here, 6'4", 180. They're active. They're good defensively. See the floor. Play well together.
Tough inside. Good three-point shooters. That's what else can you ask?
But I like Fridley, too. He's really active. He's good defensively. He can shoot a three. 2 free throws. Brady. And that's not talking about their all-stater Lust. Boyer gets it into Nichols. Brown, a 3 is too long. Nichols swipes at the rebound, and Fridley has it. Wesclin moving toward the Final Four. Well, that's a high dribble. Lust can look right over the defender. Goes to the baseline for a pop that's in.
You notice in this half, Frank, that they've done a real good job on Matt Maton. He's had a lot of trouble getting his shot.
A 3-point try is no good by Boyer. And Wesclin playing with a lot of confidence.
They're in the 1-and-1, and Shelbyville's got to gamble and stop the clock a little bit, or the game will get away from them, and it could be 1-and-1 time for a long time here, and it could get away anyway.
You know, you can't really recall many bad shots taken by Trenton Wesclin in the ball game. High percentage by and large, many in the paint.
And the three-pointers they did take, they were all alone.
Yeah, and off the offense, basically.
Shelbyville tries to answer. Matan, a three. It's frustrating.
On that shot by Matan, Nichols was just crossing midcourt when he shot that ball.
Lust out between the rings. Matan is 2 for 12, and he's a 47% two-point shooter and a 43% three-point shooter on the season. So he hasn't had it in this one game, but don't misunderstand, he's a fine shooter. Lust holds the ball and in control. No clock, remember, in the high school game.
You know, Frank, the trapping press may not be too successful against Wesclin. You look at their starting five. They go 6'2", 6'4", 6'2", 6'4", and 5'8". They can throw over that trap pretty well.
And really, they play without a legitimate center. They play with 4 forwards and a guard, or a couple of guards and 3 forwards as Roney comes back in for the Rams. Makes them very tough to handle with pressure. They handle the ball very well.
When they spread it out, they're at their best because their big people can really take it to the hole, and it's a real load on the defense of Shelbyville to claw back in against this ball club right now.
Lust has the ball taken away from him, gets it back. A couple of birds just flew over Art's head here in the Assembly Hall. Everybody wants to see the tournament.
Keep them flying.
Our Springs running a fast break into Champaign. It's about 60 down here. In the game rebounding, Wesclin has 38, Shelbyville 23. Big story in this game. 59 for Wesclin, 42 for Shelbyville. 3:33 to go in this game.
Look how far we've got the court spread right now, and there's a wide open layup that Brantmeyer decided not to take.
Lust will decide to take this one down the lane, and he's held.
You know, Brantmeyer hasn't played so much. He does have 3 fouls, and you can go, a better part of 2 quarters without your regular center in there and keep gaining ground. And I'm sure they're stronger with him in there, or he wouldn't be the starter.
Well, and they play Madenwald and Dieters along with him, but those other 4, they grind at you.
Brantmeyer is what we coaches call a role player. He's strong, he can play against big people, and he's a hard worker.
You know, and he's frequently mismatched, and you got to give him credit because he's in there hard-nosed. Lust puts it down. Lust is the state's 7th all-time scorer.
They started him on Nichols, didn't they? Started the ball game. So that's a 4-inch mismatch right there.
He had Lieb at the super sectional from floor, which was a 4 or 5-inch mismatch.
Wesclin in control, 3:17 to go. We've got Farmington and Aurora Christian coming up next. Inside, free again. And this time it goes down as Nichols got free and put it in both. You know, Shelbyville's missed a handful of layups that would change the complexion of this game.
I got 28 for Nichols, Hurley County.
A spread now for Wesclin, 28 for Steve Nichols. Big game. And a block on Jarrett Brown.
They just have so much quickness in the backcourt. It's really difficult. And if you trap, they'll throw over the trap to their people. And they're going to have to earn it, though. I think the 1-and-1 is going to be the key. They've missed the last 2. Now we'll see if they can hit this one.
Boyer comes back on for Brown for the Rams. You know that all-state team that was announced today in Class A has people like Paul Lusk on it. And other people in the tournament, Gary Tidwell's Mark Davidson in the game coming up next. He's on that team. Some great players. Reed Jackson from Norris City, Kyle Shinholtz from Mendota, T.J. Wheeler, Christopher, of course, Rennie Clemens, Tom Eller, Monticello, Joe Evans Century, Brian Foster Fairfield. Great players all around the state. Wesclin by 18. Nichols, a 3. Long tip out. That's a set play for Wesclin. They tip the ball out on the rebound, and they control it with Fridley. Fridley's listed at 6'2", looks taller. Coaches wouldn't do that, would they, Coach?
I think we tend to make them an inch or so shorter. It makes them look like better rebounders.
You know, you're talking about Rennie Clemens, Frank, the player of the year for Springfield Cavalry. He and the kid from Christopher, Wheeler, T.J. Wheeler, both will play here in the Assembly Hall for Lou Henson.
That's right. The Clemens is really quick.
And I saw him in the sectional over at Warrensburg. Yeah, he's quite a player.
Reflexes of a race car driver. You know, he's got those quick hands and quick feet. Mike Brink knocks it in, and there's Paul Lusk looking on. He's from St. Louis U. His 15 years, 293 wins.
This T.J. Wheeler from Christopher is a lot like Paul Lusk. He can really shoot the outside shot. He's a big guard.
Wesclin in control with 2:30 to go. We'll be back after this from one of your network sponsors, John Deere. There are 793 high schools in the state of Illinois, and they would all like to be here in the Assembly Hall as one of the final 8. Shelbyville and Wesclin are, and Wesclin leads, as you see, by 20 with 2:31 to go. Here in our first quarterfinal, Aurora Christian, as you're looking at the field goal percentage, shots almost equal, but Wesclin 12 percentage points higher. Aurora Christian, Farmington will come up next. Shelbyville gets Eric Boyer loose down the lane, and he got an easy one.
You might see them take the ball the whole strong. I don't think Wesclin wants to stop the clock and foul anybody.
Wesclin's content now to play some control basketball, maybe knock in a few free throws, and come back tomorrow. Brink loops across. Difficult. Fernhaber fouls in this situation just to chase the ball against a good ball handling club.
Plus the college floor is a little longer, and that allows you to spread it out a little farther. It makes it tougher on a high school kid on his defense.
There you see a defense called or a play. Paul Lusk. You can hear him score.
And that mic behind the basket there picked that net up real nice. It's a sweet sound, isn't it, that swish?
Lusk and Brady led in scoring and rebounding every game this year. Those two, one or the other, and have both of them started all 4 years. Matan. Open. Short again, but Nichols follows. Steve Nichols. Huge game for Nichols. He's making a mark on the all-tournament team early.
No, he's very impressive. Eastern Illinois people have to be delighted to have him in camp. 30 points right here, and he's done a lot of other things.
A minute and a half to go in this one. Lusk got free. Moves by a man on the right, and Nichols fouled him.
Nichols' 30 points, Frank, have come, I would say, under duress. He's been double-teamed about every time he gets the ball down to the block.
There's that drive by Lusk again here, Frank. Makes a nice move around Nichols, and he just reaches out and grabs him.
You know, he's good with either hand.
Yeah, good reach and foul with the left arm. That's looks like a linebacker.
Shelbyville still has most of their starters in the game. Nichols a 3. Off to the left. Mike Brink picks it off. Brink under control. Remember, he made that great save early in the game, and he shows no worse for wear. He bounced right back up off the concrete here.
Okay, he's a key player on that ball club, Frank.
Well, I think basketball is largely a game of guards, and if you have good guards, I think you have a much better chance to win. Oftentimes, teams that win are teams with good guards.
You've got to have the point guard out there. This Brink, you notice Shelbyville won't foul him. He was 9 for 9 at the super sectional in the late stages of the game.
Brady's no slouch to the foul line, 85%. How about that?
That's the guy you don't want to foul.
That's about as good as it gets at the high school level, isn't it, 85?
I think so.
Of course, that's good on any level. A lot of NBA guys would like to shoot 85. 1 minute to go, and Wesclin, 67, Shelbyville, 48. Matan goes all the way down, and he got held. Here's a young man that had heart surgery in April, and he had a plastic valve in his heart replaced. Thank God he's fully recovered and able to play basketball and other sports.
Here he comes on the drive, makes a nice turn on the baseline. It's got to be frustrating for the young man. You can see his talent. He just had a bad shooting day.
Well, here's another thing that'll tell you about shooting touch. 83% from the season from the foul line. Not many bad shooters can do that for a season, 83%. He's got a brother, Jim, that's All-American cross-country performer at Eastern Illinois.
Got some good bloodlines there.
Maton and Nichols both named to the 4th team Illinois Basketball Coaches Association All-State team. We have an opportunity. We'll run down the first couple of squads for you.
The Rams get Chad Davis in the game. Clay Mokel, Shane Bale, and 35 Craig Rowley come on for Shelbyville. Getting an opportunity. There's Toby Kuntz, a 6'2 sophomore coming out on the court. I know the Rams feel badly now, but they had a brilliant season, won 27 games, and were one of the best 8.
The top 6 players were seniors, so that makes it tough.
Wesclin gets Jeff Brokering in. 52, Doug Felt comes on. 32 is Rob Wegman. And 24, Clay Mackey, all coming on. And now for the Rams, Shane Bale, 31, comes on for Maton. Getting some minutes on the Assembly Hall court now with 40 seconds to play. Wesclin, who won by 15 the first time they played, now leads by 17. This time, rebound to Hempen. 5'10 sophomore, only 15 years old on the Assembly Hall court.
Taking care of the ball pretty well.
Great thrill. 15 years old, playing in front of maybe 13,000 folks or so. Rebound Shane Bale. 14 seconds. Shelbyville gets one off and in. Nicely done. Craig Rowley put it on with 5 seconds. 67-52, and this one's, there's one from half court, and that one's over. Trenton's Wesclin Warriors are in the Final Four. There's Paul Lusk, and one of the things he said before he came out of the tunnel to me was, I sure hope we didn't come down here to play just one game. He didn't.
No, I think Jay had a great performance, Frank, and their team's going to be reckoned with.
And Jim Egan goes off. Shelbyville, a salute to a fine season. They close 27-4. We'll be back at the Assembly Hall. Now a message from one of your network sponsors, the dairy farmers of Illinois and Wisconsin. Trenton Wesclin has joined the semifinal round with a 67-52 victory over the Shelbyville Rams, but it wasn't easy from the beginning, as at the end of one quarter it was a tie at 19, and at the end of the half an 8-point lead for Wesclin. At the end of 3 quarters, the Warriors had it up to 53-39, and then finally 67-52. As there were too many guns, there were the Bradys and the Fridleys and the Lusk just a bit too strong for Shelbyville today.
Right, I thought Wesclin played about as perfect a ball game as they probably played. I don't know if Coach Lusk would agree, but they played extremely well. They played hard. They got the good shots, and they made the most of it, and they dominated the boards, and that was the key. They didn't give Shelbyville a second shot, I don't think, the whole second half.
We're going to see another fine game coming up in just a moment as Aurora Christian is going to play Farmington Farmers, but right now we're going to listen to the band from Hamilton High School. They're directed by Keith Schmink, and we're going to play for us right now. We'll be back at the Assembly Hall. Now let's take time out from one of your network sponsors, Country Companies.
lent my car to my brother, and he demolished it. 2 years old, didn't have a scratch. Funny. About a month before, my agent had recommended this extra keeper coverage, $21 more a year. I remember thinking, well, I probably don't need it, but if you think so, turns out they gave me a brand new car. This year's model.
Country companies. It's nice to know when it matters most. The country is behind you.
Guess it's just a matter of trust.
Something new coming out every year. They're always changing something. Some old farmer told me one time, a fool never changes his mind. So sometimes you have to do things different. Maybe instead of doing the same old thing every year the same old way, you have to change. If you don't, you're going to be down on the bottom.
Back at the Assembly Hall, Wesclin a winner in their first game of this tournament against Shelbyville. And the final stats tell you why. Wesclin got about the same number of shots but made 43% to Shelbyville's 35. They took 9 more free throws, 10 more rebounds. Wesclin had 6 fewer fouls. Coach, anything you see there?
Well, the only thing is they played a pretty good game turnover-wise. They didn't make a lot of unnecessary fouls. That field goal percentage was due to the fact they got the ball inside, got some second effort shots.
Individually, there was balance on one side of the ledger, and that was for Wesclin, not so much for Shelbyville, as Steve Nichols led all scorers with 30 points in this game. And we'll come back and take a look at that, and we'll have game 2 coming up. But now let's take time for this from one of your network sponsors, the dairy farmers of Wisconsin and Illinois.
And welcome back to the Assembly Hall. I'm Jim Albrecht, and I'm standing with Mike Reynolds, the coach of the Findlay Falcons, another one of our Sweet 16 teams here in Class A in the year 1990. I know you fell to Shelbyville, but a great season at 26-4. And the game that everybody's still talking about back your way is the Monticello game in the sectional. A lot of people thought, well, that's their ball game, but 2 overtimes later, it was yours.
Yeah, that was, just a great ball game for us. Shannon Cloyd had 51 points and 20 rebounds in that game, and, it was just left everyone drained. It was such an exciting, tense, game, and just a great game.
And that's what a lot of people don't realize. If you're not really affiliated with a certain school or all the programs in Illinois, they think, well, that championship game was great at state or whatever, but there are so many games during the course of the trail that stick in people's minds. I mean, when you're down the road and you're retired, you're going to remember that game forever.
Yeah, when you make it that far, you get to Champaign, it seems like there's always a break or two or a game or two that, you get by to make it there. You always got to have a break unless you're just a phenomenal team,
You mentioned one, Cloyd, but your team has 2.
Yeah, they're brothers. One's a junior and one's a senior. They both started for us. They're both excellent players. They're just great to have a pair of brothers like that.
Well, what is it like when you're coaching in a tense ball game like that? Do you find that time isn't really a reality? I mean, do you just try to concentrate? Is that the coach's job?
Well, I think the main thing there is how well, you've prepared them all year. When the game's like it was there and it's close, and it's so loud, you really can't holler and tell them much. They've got to be prepared during the year to come through like something like that. And these kids worked hard all year, and, I told them all year that someone has to carry us in games like that, and they did it that night.
Mike, let me ask you, I know you're down here enjoying, but as a coach never stops coaching. Are you looking at other people's sets, defenses, picking up anything?
Well, today I'm just kind of relaxing a little bit, but we're looking forward to next year a little bit. I played 2 sophomores and 3 juniors a lot, so, you never know what's going to happen down the line, but, we're looking forward to next year a little bit, and but today I'm just kind of enjoying a little bit.
Well, Mike, great season, 26-4. Say hello to the folks in Findlay for us.
All right. Hi, everybody in Findlay.
That is Mike Reynolds. We'll have more of our halftime show after this from the IHSA.
Jackson lets fly. Goal! Jackson won the game!
Price is having away. The ball is stolen by Smedley. He shoots. He scores!
Horton launches the jumper. No good. Rebound. Gamble is good.
And Bowman says, tip it to me. Cobb tips it. Grabbed by Smith. He shoots. He hits it. The game is over.
It's March Madness. Now, relive the incredible history of the Illinois High School Basketball Tournament on one fabulous cassette. Meet the great players and coaches. See the unforgettable teams, the powerhouses, and the sentimental favorites. The wild finishes, the classic thrillers. March Madness, now yours. Just send check or money order for $32.95 to this address or call toll-free 1-800-621-0660. That's 1-800-621-0660. Major credit cards accepted. Order now.
We are back at the Assembly Hall. I'm Jim Albrecht, and with me are, well, they're going to be responsible for a lot of the next game you're about to see, because I'm going to be talking with some Farmington fans who also have sons who play in this game as well. At least two of the three ladies do. And I'll tell you what, I'll just go along the way here and let you introduce yourselves and your son, if you could.
Ann Anderson, and Rob is 42.
I know you're a fan, and you also have a Welch out there.
Right. Kathy Welch, my son Scott, 32.
And you don't have a son out there, but it doesn't matter, does it?
That's right. I'm Becky Ritter, and I'm just a fan.
Now, I want to talk about the sectional. You guys all heard, or I should say you ladies all heard. You know, I talked to so many coaches out here. You ladies all heard that you guys were not favored to even come out of your sectional. But then Orion beat Knoxville, and lo and behold, Farmington beat Orion. Were you surprised at all, or is that the beauty of basketball? You don't worry about who's favored, just go to the game.
Right, we just play to win and play as a team and take one game at a time.
What's it like in Farmington? Is anybody home, is what I'm asking.
I think so. I think everybody's in Champaign.
And what are your reactions now? We're about 10, 15 minutes away from another ball game. I mean, are the butterflies that you used to have when you were a little girl back again?
Yes, I have no one playing, but they're here. They're in my stomach right now.
What do you do when your son comes? Do you talk about basketball with your sons? Do you have any advice, God forbid, for your son for basketball, or is that all up to the coach?
We let the coach pretty well do that, and we just give him a lot of praise and support.
Now, did anybody have a son the second or third day in the hospital, somebody handed him a basketball? Anybody do that?
I think we did. My husband is an ex-basketball coach, so from the time Scott came home, I think he had a basketball or a baseball or a football in his hand.
Well, let me tell you, however this game turns out, enjoy yourself. You are part of March Madness. Without you folks, we don't have it.
Thank you.
All right, that's the ladies from Farmington, and we'll be back with more on this second game of the quarterfinals. But first, this from your network sponsors.
This Illinois High School Association Championship event is being brought to you by your local John Deere dealer. Nothing runs like a Deere. The country companies. When it matters most, the country's behind you. And the dairy farmers of Wisconsin and Illinois. Whether you're on the court or off, milk, it does a body good.
Well, back in the Assembly Hall, and we're waiting game number 2 in the quarterfinal round, matching Farmington against Aurora Christian. Frank Pisoni is standing by at courtside with Tom Worsma, the coach of the Farmington Ball Club, and I think Frank is just about set to go.
Thank you very much, Art. And Coach Tom Worsma, welcome to the Assembly Hall in the Elite Eight.
Well, thank you very much. This is really an honor.
Tell me when you first thought this year that this team of yours from Farmington had a chance to get here.
Probably not until about the regional championship, Frank, because we started off really well, but had a little bit of a June swoon in January. But then once February started, we got on a roll. But it wasn't until really probably about the end of the regional, start of the sectionals, that we thought we had an opportunity to come.
Tell the viewers about your team a little bit. What should they look for?
Well, we're a really, really balanced basketball team. We have 5 starters that average anywhere from 9.5 to 14 points a game. We're going to try to get the ball up and down the court. We're going to press as much as we possibly can.
So you'd like a fast tempo in the game. What problems does Aurora Christian give you?
Well, the Davidson boy just causes all kinds of problems. When a guy that's that big that can play inside and outside, if he was just inside, I think he could stack up inside. Or if he was just outside, you could really pressure. But he's got the ability to go both ways. And then they've got some guards that are awfully quick. So they do cause us a lot of problems.
Well, good luck. Congratulations on a great year.
Well, thank you very much, Frank.
Tom Worsma from Farmington will step in. And now we'll ask the head coach from Aurora Christian, Don Davidson, to come by. Congratulations, Coach.
Thank you very much.
Tell us about your team.
Well, we've got 4 seniors that start and 1 junior. My son, Mark Davidson's a captain, leading scorer, leading rebounder. And the other 4 seniors have really fit in well. We only have 2 starters back from last year's team. It was 27-3, got to the super sectional.
Is it difficult to coach your son?
No, it's not. He's a highly motivated and just intense competitor, and that's a real privilege and an honor to coach a player like that.
What were this team's goals that you and the team set before this season started?
We didn't say it, but we said at the time we'd like to win 20, but we were all thinking higher than that. And we wanted to be peaking at the time that the regional tournament started, and we certainly have been.
Coach, what did you tell your team before they came out on this court this afternoon?
I said, relax, enjoy the competition.
What about the scouting report on Farmington?
We know that they have 5 players that average between 9.5 and 14 points a game. So I said, everybody, you've got to do your job. You've got to block out. You've got to help and recover on defense. You've got to play with intensity on defense and shoot the ball well.
What's the key to this game? What's going to decide it?
I think if we can out-rebound them and do a good job on the boards, I think that'll be the key.
Coach Davidson, good luck to you. Congratulations.
Thank you, Frank.
Don Davidson from Aurora Christian will be back at the Assembly Hall in a moment. Now let's pause for these messages.